What's up guys, it's Lozon here, and today I'll be showing off Stasis Hunter and showing you how potent it is in the game and how good it is for ad clearing and other stuff. So let's get into the video. So with this build and why Stasis Hunters is in a really good position right now is to do with the general sort of buffs and fragments we've got to build and like the weapons and all that sort of stuff. So let's go into the aspects and fragments of this build. So aspects we be using is Touch of Winter, which enhances your grenades. So for example, Glacial Grenades adds a Stasis Crystal, Dust Field Grenade increases the slow field size and adds a stasis small Stasis Crystal on impact. Cold Stack Grenades, Seeker creates a Stasis Crystal on detonation and chains one additional time. For this build, we'll be using Dust Field Grenades, as Dust Field Grenades will do a radius, obviously slowing targets and then freezing them after some time. This is better than Glacial Grenades, as Glacial Grenades are good if you're obviously bursting them and shatter damage on all that, and if they get stuck in the Glacial Grenades, obviously they freeze. Whereas this, you're not as reliant on that using Dust Field Grenades, as obviously they'll slow targets and then freeze them over time, and then we're having a Stasis Crystal in the middle of Dust Field Grenade, it's quite nice with that. Now, then we go to the other one aspect, Grim Harvest. Defeating slowed or frozen patterns creates stasis shards. These shards grant melee energy pickup by you or your allies, which is pretty good. But the main caveat to why we picked this is it has 3 fragment slots. 3 fragment slots is really nice, and so in total we get 5 fragments for stasis, which is really strong. So let's start by going to the fragments of this build. So Whisper Shards. Shattering a Stasis Crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge trait. Shattering additional Stasis Crystals increases the duration of this benefit. So that's why we have Dust Field Grenades, as we get small Stasis Crystal when we throw it, so when we destroy that we get a bit of grenade, we get increased grenade regeneration. Now we could have gone with Glacial Grenades and get it back a lot more quicker, but Dust Field Grenades are a lot more better overall. So yeah, and as you'll see with this build, we will be generating a lot of Stasis Crystals to generate obviously grenade back, so it really doesn't matter. So Dust Field Grenades are the best one here. Whisper of Conduction. Nearby Stasis Shards track to your position and gives you plus 10 resilience and intellect. This is just a nice one to have, so you don't have to worry about going to them directly. You can be a little bit distant and they come to you, so it's nice. Whisper of Fissures increases the damage and size of burst of stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or frozen target. This just allows you to do more damage overall with stasis crystals and frozen targets, so it's a must-have for this build. Whisper of Rendering. Primary weapon damage increases damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. So this is just really good, because with certain weapons, certain primary weapons, it will just like one-shot the crystals, which is good. That will makes it easier and not have to put as much ammo onto those. So you can, in theory, if you've got a weapon that has headstone, obviously when you get that, kill enemy with a precision hit, some of the stasis crystal, you can just instantly explode it, and if it adds nearby, obviously do a lot of damage. And then the final fragment is Whisper of the Refraction. Defeating slowed or frozen targets grants class ability energy. We'll get into that on why that is good, but as we're slowing and freezing enemies, this is quite good, as we get a class ability back a lot faster. We'll get our grenades back a lot faster for shattering, stasis, crystals with a grenade for our grenades, and then we get a melee energy back a lot faster by picking stasis shards up. So, in theory, by doing all three of these, our uptime for our abilities is really good, as we're having constant regeneration of a melee ability, a grenade ability, and a class ability. So yeah, this is really good regeneration overall with this build, and it synergizes really well. Now, let's go into the main weapons of this build and the exotic piece for the armor. So, for the weapons build, and why this build is really strong, we're going to go with Wicked Implement. Now, Wicked Implement is a good scout rifle, but with this build, it's even stronger because of the synergies we have. So, what does Wicked Implement do? Well, it's its intrinsic trait, could be intuition, rapidly landing precision hits causes targets to become slowed. Obviously, once you make them slowed, and after time, you freeze them, which is quite nice for this weapon. Its other trait is 5 in Hivers. While keeping attrition is active, destroying stasis crystals or landing precision final blows creates a stasis shard that the stasis shard returns to you, and collecting stasis shards refill the magazine, which is really nice. Now, with the catalyst for this weapon, you gain headstone, and you also gain, when you collect stasis shards, it overflows the magazine. This overflows to 30, so you are basically doubling the amount of magazine you have, as its base magazine is 15. Now, this weapon with all this is ridiculous, as this weapon would insta destroy, obviously, stasis crystals, and obviously with headstone you just generate them again. So this is ridiculous, and it's a really good primary weapon because of that. And obviously you can use it as a longer distance and you'll be absolutely fine. Now, obviously damage isn't great, but this is where we come into play with our exotic beast for this build, that being Mask of Baccharos. Now you're wondering, why this? Why use Mask of Baccharos? Well, with Mask of Baccharos, when you use your stasis ability, class ability should I say, it allows you to sort of shift into position, just like a faster dodge, but after you exit that sort of dodging whatever it is, you gain a temporary boost of damage to stasis and arc weapons for about 10 seconds. Now, this is stasis weapon damage times 4, which is higher than the other surges, because the surge mods go to times 3. So you, in theory, are getting a times 4 multiplier for 10 seconds with the ability to get high regeneration for your class abilities, as I speak before of how this build synergizes with all of its abilities together, which is pretty good and gets insane very quickly, as stasis times 4 with Wicked Implement at longer ranges does wonders, and it's really good overall. And even if you've got a stasis heavy weapon, and there's a lot of good options like Cold Confront, this becomes ridiculous very quickly, and you'll just do a lot of damage, and it's great. It's great overall for this build. So, with the seasonal artifacts for this build, there are main ones you want to focus for. So, the ones you want to focus for are Pillar of Ice, defeating encased combatants spawn stasis crystals. Encase means freezing targets, so that's different wording for that. And then Hailstorm, shattering encased targets or shattering stasis crystals, deals increased damage. And then shattering stasis crystals releases shards of ice that damage slow targets. That's nice, as you're slowing targets, we get benefits of killing slow targets, so it's good for that. You can also, with this build, if you've got a solar energy weapon, you could go with Flint Striker. Obviously, grab a solar weapon, precision hits or kills. With solar weapons, grant you Radiant. Radiant is obviously a buff that allows you to have more damage to your weapons, so even more damage. And then Kindred Trigger. Radiant causes solar weapons to apply Scorch on Scorch combatants. This is a bit of a dot damage, nice to have for this build. Wishing to Being, while your sub is nearly full. Ability Final Blows spawn orbs of power. Obviously, the abilities we'll be using are obviously your melee because they generate kills. Wearing Seasonal Wish Armor decreases the super mount threshold, so we get a larger range for this if you're wearing the Seasonal Armor, which is quite good. And then Dragon's Bite, breaking combatants' shields with Strand or Stasis weapons has a chance to spend or freeze in our case. This is same thing with that, wearing Seasonal Wish Armor increases the chance, so that's good for that. Now let's get on to the mods for this build. For the helmet, we'll be going with a Thermodonic Siphon, which is solar and stasis, and so with either of those, with rapid kills, we will generate all this power with a solar weapon or stasis weapon. This is quite good as this combines both of them together, so it's nice to have that. The other mod can be hands-on, which obviously with our melee kills we gain super energy back. Quite nice for that. This can be replaced for any of the ammo finders or skill mods, so really choose what you want for this slot. But it's nice to have the Stasis weapon Final Blows or solar weapon one for Thermodonic Siphon, as the Siphon mods are beneficial for this build in getting armor charge. For your gauntlets, we're going to go with heavy-handed, power melee blows, create all its power, fastball, increase the grenade throw distance, and then impact induction, cause damage to your power melee, attack reduces your grenade cooldown, so grenade timer will be reduced and we get back a lot quicker. For chest armor, charged up, really simple, get one more extra armor charge, and then the other two slots can be any resistance mods or another charged up for maximum 5 armor charge. And then for the boots, we go with 2 stasis weapon surges, which would be a ×2, and elemental charge. So when we pick up stasis charge, we have a chance of gaining an armor charge. And then for cloak, we go with 2 time dilations, as our armor charge decay has a longer duration, which is nice. Having 2 has an even longer duration, so that's why we go with 2. And yeah, that is the Stasis Hunter build, and oh my god, this build is a lot of fun, and in endgame content, this build will become ridiculous. And as you've probably seen in the background, just clearing ways ads after ads after ads, it's just dumb, and it's just really good overall. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, suggest maybe liking the video or subscribing, and if you want to see me more builds, let me know what builds you want to see next. But other than that, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.